finally, I bring to you the Ultra versus Ultra camera comparison. On one side, we have internet's favorite Vivo X300 Ultra, and on the other side, we have the Oppo Find X9 Ultra, which has also gained a lot of fame lately. Both of these phones have best of the best camera sensors, support for top-class telephoto extenders, and amazing optimization. But then, the real question is, which one of these is better? Watch this video till the end to get the answer. Okay, before starting, just so you guys don't get confused, I have assigned weight to every category and I will be giving points according to the merits of each phone in each aspect, and in the end, you will know which phone is good at what. Now, let's get started. So the first thing you have to know is that both of these phones haven't left a single stone unturned when it comes to the camera hardware. Both have 200 megapixel primary sensors and 200 megapixel telephoto lenses. Oppo even has a separate 10x telephoto lens, and they both have 50 megapixel ultra-wide cameras. But then the implementation of both phones is very different. For instance, in the main camera, the Vivo X300 Ultra, just like on the X200 Ultra before it, has a 35mm lens, while Oppo's main camera is 23mm wide, like any other phone in the market. So naturally, you get sort of a cropped 1.5x view from Vivo, while Oppo's results are wider. Now, perspective-wise, I can't say I favor one over the other because honestly, sometimes Vivo's 35mm images look kind of cinematic, while other times Oppo's wider perspective captures the essence of the scene. But what I do favor is Vivo's post-processing, which helps retain better sharpness in images, the highlight management is superior, the shadow processing is generally better, and in general, the colors look more natural by default too. The Find X9 Ultra tends to produce more saturated images, which do look good, but they aren't the most close to the real colors, especially at night. The saturation can be a little overbearing. And Oppo still needs to sort out the glare management issue. But credit where credit's due, Oppo maintains white balance a little better, and its bigger f1.5 aperture helps bring out brighter images all the time, while Vivo for some reason suppresses the exposure like 2 out of 10 times, which does not necessarily look good. Like the main camera, Oppo's white balance is better in ultra-wide photos too. For instance, this indoor shot at night, Vivo has just made the picture more yellow, while the reality was closer to what Oppo has produced. But then that's the limit to the positive things I am going to say about Oppo's ultra-wide photos. That's because if you zoom in, Vivo is able to maintain better details wherever you zoom, like at the edges and even at random faraway places, but Oppo just cannot do that. Oppo's pictures are brighter, but the exposure isn't necessarily balanced both during the day as well as the night. Not to forget, there are two major red flags with Oppo's ultra-wide photos. One is that it takes a little more time to click pictures, and number two is this. Because the ultra-wide lens is placed so far down, your finger appears in the photos like 70% of the time. Anyway, I actually have a small confession to make. More than the 1x and the ultra-wide cameras on both of these phones, I was actually extremely excited to test the telephoto lenses on both of these phones, especially the dedicated 10x lens on the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. Because with this lens, you can actually click 10x portraits, like you could be far away from the subject and still click usable 10x portraits that retain good quality, which is just awesome. Well, not the most practical, but awesome anyway. But natively, with the 200 megapixel telephoto periscope lens, you can click 3 and 3.7x optical quality portraits from Oppo and Vivo respectively. And here's the things Vivo's good at. Highlight management on the face, producing neutral eye-pleasing colors, processing shadows better and clicking pictures faster, like it has fast shutter speed, so moving subjects come out more sharp with minimum to no blur. But then Oppo is also better at a few things, like the Find X9 Ultra preserves the natural skin texture better, it preserves the subtle natural redness in the skin better, and unlike Vivo, it does not favor a neutral tone in all of the pictures. The colors are bright and vibrant. And something I really like about both of these cameras is that you can crop in further and still get good details and sharpness. So if you ask me which one's better, I think Vivo tends to produce more likable pictures. The results are consistent in like 9 out of 10 photos, and Vivo is also better at edge detection. While I think Oppo needs an update or two to make sure it does not mess up the highlights and figure out a way to maintain consistent colors on the subject's face. Like sometimes Oppo makes the skin tone too magenta, which might look a bit too much. Likewise, the telephoto lenses on both of these phones click great macros. Like in all of the 1x and ultra-wide photos, Oppo's macro pictures are brighter and they're sharp too. But not as sharp as Vivo. It might seem like I am favoring Vivo a little too much, but in my defense, throughout the years, Vivo has figured out how to make the most from their telephoto lenses like no other brand. For instance, the clarity of details that the X300 Ultra is able to produce is just amazing in this flower shot. The background to subject separation is ethereal and it just processes the light so well. It just feels like Oppo has taken inspiration from the best camera phone while Vivo is trying to produce more DSLR kind of photos, and I certainly love what Vivo has done here. Now, while Vivo seems to have absolutely been dominating the entire photography department, there are actually two areas where Oppo absolutely shines. Number one, the color consistency between the ultra-wide and the telephoto lens is so much better on Oppo than Vivo. Now, this might be a result of the separate color spectrum sensor plus what Oppo is calling their Slo-mo imaging engine processing that has brought better results. But whatever it is working well. And number two, zooming up to 10x and beyond, Oppo just maintains the optical level clarity without over-processing the images. And because Oppo is zooming in with a dedicated lens, not only you get natural details, you also get a little bit of that natural blur in the background too. Again, to be fair, at 10x, Vivo's processing is not bad. Like 5 out of 10 times, you will not exactly notice differences, but beyond that, it is crystal clear that Vivo tries to overly sharpen details and clear the artifacts, but it looks very unnatural. I like what Oppo has done in maintaining the natural details. Finally, the last aspect of photography, let's talk about the selfies. And I have been a little confused here because I like my selfies from Oppo. They appear brighter, more vibrant. I like my skin tone, and Oppo also preserves the redness in my skin better. But then literally every other selfie except mine looks better from Vivo. Like when you compare selfies of multiple people across different skin tones. Boys in my office definitely prefer their photos from Vivo's selfie camera. Technically, Oppo is a little wider, but Vivo is very close, so I will not complain about it. I will give Oppo 0.5 marks more though.
Okay, when it comes to selfie videos, again, I find the Oppo Find X9 Ultra's results more lively and vibrant than Vivo. Oppo is wider too and maintains a very nice skin tone. Stabilization is very similar on both, but to my eyes, Oppo Find X9 Ultra selfie videos look better than Vivo's.
Okay, a quick look at the scoreboard and whoa, Vivo seems to have dominated the photography aspect entirely, but what about the videos? Can Oppo still take the lead? Watch till the end if you're curious. Okay, the videos from the main camera are wildly different from both of these phones. Vivo has that 1.5x zoomed in perspective, while Oppo's videos fit a lot more in the frame, and both have their pros and cons. But I find the slightly cropped perspective from the X300 Ultra a little more cinematic, a little more personal when I shoot things like my dog or even my own videos for that matter. And not just the perspective, Vivo genuinely locks exposure better, produces nice colors, and at night maintains highlights and tiny things like details in, let's say, the clouds in a much superior manner when compared to the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. And at night, you will actually notice grains in Oppo's videos. Also, let me show you something. Lens switching on Vivo is much more smoother than on Oppo. On Oppo, you can see visible jerks, whereas Vivo's lens switching is almost the same as the iPhones.
And I don't know if you've noticed this in other video samples, but there are slight wobbles in Oppo's videos, whereas Vivo's videos are more stable and have better stabilization.
And this is true for the ultra-wide videos as well. And now that I think about it, Oppo's ultra-wide photos weren't that good, and that has passed down to the videos as well. Especially stabilization, highlight management, and glare management are subpar in my opinion. Maybe it's because the Find X9 Ultra launched very recently and has not gotten many updates so far, but there's a little bit of this and that's off about Oppo's videos at the moment, which I hope gets fixed very soon. And for all of the people who are into cinematic or portrait videos, I have good news for you guys because both of these phones shoot nice portrait videos. Vivo's 35mm perspective looks more professional compared to Oppo, but then again, skin tones are more livelier on Oppo. Both phones do a similar job while separating the background from the subject though. But with Oppo, there is a catch. You can't shoot at 4K 60 FPS, which you can on Vivo. So you could say there's a slight edge on the X300 Ultra side. Likewise, Oppo also processes skin tone better in slow-mo videos. Vivo's videos look a bit dull in terms of colors, but then Vivo's videos are more stable and you can shoot at 4K 120 FPS across all of the lenses on the X300 Ultra versus the Find X9 Ultra that only allows 4K 120 from the main and the telephoto lens. Also, for the pro smartphone videographers out there, you get the option to shoot at 4K 120 in log from both of these cameras. Both have other professional features like LUT preview with option to import your own LUT profile, focus peaking, histogram, etc, etc. But one extra thing on Vivo is that the X300 Ultra has false color preview option too, so professionals who want to monitor the exact brightness and exposure will get some more flexibility with Vivo. Alright everyone, so with this we have come to the end of this video, and throughout this video I could not help but think how good these cameras are. Yeah, Vivo might have had a slight edge in most of the categories, but honestly Oppo is quite good too, especially the 10x lens is just great. Both these cameras have such good performance that they are in their own league, and brands like Apple and Samsung actually need to learn from them. Now, I think the only thing that both Oppo and Vivo need to figure out is how to make the ergonomics of their phones better, like how to make the weight distribution balanced with these huge camera sensors. Also, I believe Oppo needs 1 or 2 updates to fine-tune its cameras a little more. Let me know if you would like me to make the same video after a few updates on Oppo. Till then, thanks for watching. In fact, a special thank you to anyone who has watched till the end. Saying this, I'm Pratima. Please subscribe to my channel if you liked this video.